All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Stacy, a compulsive eater, and I am the vice chair of the Board of Trustees. And do we, you know what? I don't know if we typically do this, but let's just take a moment and start with the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things
no difference.
Thank you. If everyone can please mute, and I'm just checking in, is Linda M here? All right, so Tara, I'm going to take you up on timing.
Can you give me the parameters?
I will for sure. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
We have Carla, who's our moderator, and Joey is our note taker. And this meeting is being recorded for the note taker. Does anyone here object to La Comunidad Hispana Intergroup publishing the audio recording on their YouTube channel? Audio only. Please just call out if you object.
Stacy, what does that mean? That anybody can go into that YouTube channel and listen? Or that you have to be
that
a
is
member?
correct.
So it's a fine line.
Okay, so just let me know if you object. Okay. All right. So there being no objections, according to the GSA World Service Policy, we will allow La Comunidad Hispana to publish the intergroup to publish the audio of the town hall. Okay, so we're going to first do welcomes and board of trustees introductions. This is the agenda. Then after that, we will have your World Service questions and feedback for up to 20 minutes. Then for 15 minutes total, we have our special topics. So in July, this is the GreySheet count census. We'll talk about that. And then we'll do for 20 minutes total, the 4 core functions: the integrity of the GreySheet program, literature, public information, and website. Then we will have presentations by intergroups. So the Foam Bridge, Connecticut, Northeast, and La Comunidad Hispana. And then we'll have a report on the 7th tradition donations, and then World Services announcements, and then we will close. So let's go ahead and start. If Tara, you can time for 5 minutes, please. We're going to do introductions. So if you are, I will call out. So as I said, I'm the vice chair of the Board of Trustees. I'm Stacy, and I am the chair of this meeting today. Can you raise your virtual hand, please, if you're here from the Board of Trustees? So Grania, will you introduce yourself, please?
Thank you, Stacy. Hi, everybody. Grania, compulsive eater, now in Dublin, Ireland. And I am the chair of the Board of Trustees. And my abstinence date is September 16th, 1994.
Thank you, Grania. And I'm from Los Angeles, and my abstinence date is July 1st, 2017. Okay, Joey.
Hey everyone, my name is Joey from Long Island, New York. I am the Board of Trustees member, and my abstinence date is June 7, 2013, and I'm also the assistant treasurer.
Thank you, Joey. Tara.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tara. I'm a compulsive eater. My abstinence date is March 14th, 2015, and I live in Southern Maine, USA.
Thank you, Tara. Maggie.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maggie, and I am a compulsive overeater, and I'm in Oregon, and I am a Board of Trustees member, and my absence date is July 27th, 1990.
Thank you, Maggie. And we have 2 new trustees to the Board of Trustees, and those are Marvin and Barbara. So if you can introduce yourselves, give a teeny bit of background for about 1 minute each, that would be great. So Barbara, why don't you go first?
Okay, thank you so much, Stacy. I'm Barbara L. from the Boston area. Hi, everyone. And I am, my abstinence date is April 30th, 2005. And I joined and became active as a board member, actually probably right after the last town hall. And I am so happy to be representing or from the Northeast. I have been very active in the Watertown community and Northeast Intergroup, and I'm on the nominating committee so we can get some more wonderful board members. Little pitch there. And that's pretty much my background. So I love GreySheet. I love being abstinent, and I love my food. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. And then Marvin.
Hello, family. I'm Marvin. I'm abstinent and grateful. My abstinent date is 3/17/92. Okay, and so I, been on this process. I'm doing service for a lot of years, and I put us through the beginning process. So even though the date is 1998, I started this process in 1994. After I was 2 years abstinence, believe it or not. And I'm a trustee on the board now. I've been here for about 2 months. I'm on the roundup committee. Anything in New York, basically, I'm on. And so I only got about a minute, and I want to keep it long. I'm grateful to be on the board, and plus now I'm a part of the liaison for the conference committee. So I made my first meeting, and we'll see where it goes forward. I appreciate y'all allowing me to serve.
Thank you so much, Marvin. And then the people who are delegates to the World Service Conference at the meeting in October, you'll have the opportunity to officially nominate the trustees, Barbara and Marvin, and then that will be official. Okay. All right. So if everyone can put your identifying information in the chat, if you didn't hear me say that before, so your name, role, committee, intergroup, email, etc., that would be great. So now for 20 minutes, Tara, for 20 minutes, this is your town hall. So please, any questions, feedback that you have, please raise your virtual hand. I know people did have the opportunity to ask questions ahead of time that we could for sure have addressed here today. We will do our best to address questions that were not asked ahead of time. But if we don't have the proper people here to address that, or they need more research, then we will put it in the next service matters and get you those responses. So please raise your virtual hand and ask us anything. Diane R.
Hello, hi. This is my first being there. Hi, everybody. I'm Diane, a recovering compulsive overeater. I have a question about the census. My first response to the census was, it didn't feel right to me. And it just felt like externally what happens in censuses. I'm wondering if it's just the terminology, calling it a census, maybe perhaps just calling information about GreySheeters, but a census feels, that's my question. And my comment that gathering, like, we're not here to gather personal data on people for an agenda other than staying abstinent. But when we call it census, that word is off-putting for me, who's been in GreySheet for a long time. Thank you.
Okay. Let me, Grania, are you able to address that? Would you like to?
Sure. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Diane. Hi, everybody. Well, you can blame me for the word census, because when we started the project in 2018, that was the word that came to my mind, and it's kind of stuck until now. but it is now an official project of the Structure Committee and the World Service Conference. And so any suggestion for improvements, like a better name or a better way to describe it, can certainly be considered by the Structure Committee, of which Linda M. in Oregon is the chair. And if you have any suggestions, you can send them to her at structure@greysheet.org. So certainly, Stacy's the liaison to the Structure Committee. She can take the idea that maybe there's a better way of naming it. But if you have any specific suggestions like survey or information gathering or some other suggestion, you could email it to Linda.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Grania. Thank you so much, Diane, for your question. I will definitely take that back to the Structure Committee. Any other questions, comments, feedback? We have a lot of time. Maggie.
Yes, thank you, Stacy, so much. Thank you very much for this forum. And my question is, and I have gotten information on this before, but I think it might be useful. This is the gray sheet, and I am wondering why some people specify that they do the Cambridge gray sheet, and some people just say gray sheet. So I'm wondering about that. Though I kind of have an idea, but maybe not everybody does.
Okay, well, I'm definitely not the person to answer that, as I'm new-ish, came in 2017. Who on the Board of Trustees would like to take a shot at that one? Grania, go ahead.
Thanks, Stacy. Thank you, Maggie. I'm going to punt that question because that is not a World Service question. It has really nothing to do with the World Service Organization. That's a personal decision of each and every gray sheeter, whether they call themselves a Cambridge gray sheeter doing the Cambridge gray sheet or a gray sheeter doing the gray sheet. That's up to each of us. And the World Service Organization doesn't use the word Cambridge in its name and doesn't have an opinion one way or the other. If somebody thought it was important to have World Service make a statement about it or come down on one side or the other of it, then it should be a suggestion to the board or to one of the committees. But as it stands today, it's a personal decision and not a World Service policy.
That's an excellent response. Thank you, Grania. Thank you so much. Thank you, Maggie, for the question. All right, Tara, how much time do we have?
Over 14 minutes.
Okay, we have plenty of time. And we have until 12:30 Eastern time. So this meeting is an hour and a half. So we'll have time to get to everything. So please feel free to ask any questions. Sarah, go ahead.
As long as I have time to ask questions. In AA, they have a service manual, which is something you can hold in your hand, and it's in black and white. And it's all the proposals they've agreed on over the years. And I have made an assumption that what we're doing at the World Service level at the conference meetings is, as these resolutions get passed, is creating a service manual. When I mention it to people, they kind of look at me like, huh? And so it occurred to me that I could be wrong. I've been known to be wrong about a lot of things. So, Stacy, you're part of the structure committee, and I know Linda. I don't know if Linda's here or not, but are we writing a service manual? Is that where all these things are going to, all those resolutions that we discuss in our meetings and give our opinions on?
Yes, so we absolutely are. It's not going to be in the same form where it could be like printed like a PDF like AA has. Instead, it's going to be different. Oh gosh, you know what? Grania is the best person to explain this. I'm going to punt this over to Grania, but yes, it is absolutely in the works and we've been working on it. Grania?
Sure. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Stacy. the vision that we had for the structure for the service manual that the structure committee agreed on was that because we expect ourselves to be very flexible and constantly updating all of our decisions, which has been the case since we started documenting them in 2019, is that they will live online in separate chapters. So the role of the GSR, the role of the ISR, the role of a trustee, what is a group, what is an intergroup, how does the conference make decisions? All of those separate documents would be separate chapters in our cloud storage. And you would go to the website and you could search through by an index or a page of a table of contents and click on the thing you're interested in, and it would take you to that chapter, which you could print out, but you wouldn't be printing out the whole book. And we don't plan on assembling it all into one document and making that available for printing, because every time you change one thing, it would change the whole structure of the book. And we want to have more flexibility than that. So the service manual is underway, and what we really need to get it to move the project along is more volunteers. Right now, it's a matter of people with time, skills, and willingness to put those resolutions online in a sensible order and then get it on the website.
Thank you, Grania.
Thank you.
Oh, Sarah, you're muted.
Thank you, both of you, so much. That was very clear, and because I really was one track the way that AA does it, and I'm not sure I could find things, but I know that I can if I work at it. So thank you.
All right, Mindy, and then Dottie.
Thank you, Stacy and Grania. I have just a quick comment, not a question. If there's any qualified GSRs, a year or more abstinents who want to register for the World Service Conference and become a delegate, tomorrow, the 31st of July is the drop deadline. So please register. Please register by tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Mindy. Thank you. Dottie.
Hi, Dottie, compulsive eater. And I do want to address the very initial concern about the audio being posted on the Comunidad España, I don't say it right, I'm sorry, YouTube channel. It is sufficiently anonymous because it's audio. None of our last names are mentioned. And it is an open meeting. This is not a closed meeting. This is open for all the fellowship and anybody who may stumble upon GreySheet. And also, I do want to point out, well, if our visual showed, then we would not be anonymous. And please be aware that many last names show. So when you go to a GreySheet meeting or even a group meeting, whatever, please remove your last name from your identifier that shows up on the screen. Just use your last initial. And thank you.
Thank you, Dottie. Any other questions, comments, feedback? And just so you all know, it's not that there's only just 3 times a year that you have the opportunity for questions, comments, and feedback. Please feel free to reach out to anyone on the Board of Trustees or the chairs of the committees at any time. The addresses are listed on the website, and you can always ask questions, give feedback, etc. So just reminding you of that. Anyone else who would like to speak now? Laura.
Yeah, I just have one question in relation to the GSR registration. For those of us who registered after the first round of delegate training, how do we get trained? Are we still allowed to vote if we haven't attended the delegate training? And can we come to the second one if we didn't come to the first one?
Yes, and let me punt that over to Grania for more detail.
Yes, thank you, Stacy. That's a great question for all of the delegates who volunteered after the original deadline in April. And thank you to the conference committee. Well, thank you to the Board of Trustees for being wanting to open up the registration for more delegates. Thank you to the delegates who expressed such interest after the deadline. And thank you to the conference committee for taking on months and months more work than they should have had to get us all registered for the conference. If you are a registered delegate, you are a voting delegate. That's it. There's no, there are no other criteria to be able to vote at the conference. If you're allowed to register, you're allowed to vote. The training, the first training, which we held in April immediately after the registration, the original registration, was how to prepare over the course of 6 months. If you register now, only 2 or 3 months ahead of the conference, it's kind of a moot point. So the first training is useless at this point for anybody who did not register in April. The second training is how to participate in the conference meeting, how to ask questions, how to participate in debate, how to challenge the chairperson, who would be me, how to express a minority opinion after a vote has been taken, how to actually use the voting technology on Zoom, how to follow the agenda. All of that will be covered in the second training. So everybody, please plan on coming to the second training, whether or not you went to the first one. If you came to the conference without having been at the second training in October 1st and 3rd, you would, if you hadn't been to a previous conference, you'd be completely lost. You would be completely lost. The second training is essential for any first-time delegate. Thanks.
Thank you, Grania, and thank you, Laura. Any other question? Okay, Tara, it's a time. Okay, all right. Oh, 5 minutes left? 5 minutes left. Okay. Any other questions, comments, feedback, suggestions? Yummy.
Well, I thank you very much for all of you of your service. I really wanted to tell that we are publishing this recording as the same as we did the last one, the town hall, and we have a special channel. I mean, for only the English and also for the Hebrew translation and also for the Spanish translation that is happening right now. So we have this, at least this one is going to be in 3 languages. But what I wanted to tell is that whether if you feel or the ones in charge who are making the podcast or the other YouTube channel that has so many GreySheeters subscribed, if they want the audio prepared for the podcast or for the other YouTube channels, of course we can give it to you and just prepare so as to publish, because the main reason to do it is just to share the message. So please feel free to contact me privately so as to give you all the languages you prefer. That's the only thing I wanted to tell. Thank you.
Thank you, Yami. Anybody else? Okay, I think what I'll do is I'll move on, and then if there's time at the end, we'll take more questions at the end. So next is the special topic, which the special topic for July is: how does my participation in the census GreySheet counts serve our primary purpose and to get some preliminary data? So Grania, if you can provide us with that, and it's 15 minutes total, Tara, thank you.
Thanks, Stacy. Thanks, Tara. Tara, if you give me a verbal, like 5 minutes and 1 minute before the end, because I'm going to share my screen and I won't be able to see you probably. So I'm going to share my screen. If anybody has any problems, please let me know. I want you to see some of our preliminary results. So as I said, I am Grania, the chair of the Board of Trustees and a member of the Structure Committee. And I've been doing the background work for the census. And we have just a few more days to get everybody to participate who is willing to participate. So I wanted to talk about why we do the census. So we started the census or the survey or the information gathering project, whatever is the best terminology for it, in 2018 to celebrate our 20th anniversary as a separate 12-step fellowship. So we were founded, as Marvin referred to, in 1998 to support those around the world who weigh and measure without exception, no matter what, from the Grey Sheet. And we are never going to be a mass movement. We are always going to be we happy few. We need each other. We need to support each other. We need each other to be able to stay abstinent. And so we needed our own fellowship to provide services for us, because you and I both know that most people think we're nuts for doing what we do. And many people actively oppose what we do. So we need all the support we can get, and that's why we have our own fellowship. So the services that GreySheeters Anonymous World Services provides are all designed to support us in our abstinence and help us with our primary purpose, which, if we all unmuted and said out loud, we all know our primary purpose is to stay abstinent and carry the message, the Grey Sheet message, to another compulsive eater. So everything we do is about how can we give you the tools to carry the message to the next compulsive eater? How can we tell the next compulsive eater that we are here with the solution? So some of the underlying thoughts behind this are a quotation that I believe I first heard from Stacy, which is, connection is the opposite of addiction. And everything about this census is about trying to connect us one to the other, because to keep it, we have to give it away, as AA tells us. And so how can I give it to you if I'm not connected with you? So how can I find you? This is one of the services that we provide, is how we can find each other. And I think perhaps in Grey Sheet, more than in any fellowship, we need each other. I'm also a member of other fellowships. I don't have to call my sponsor every day to commit my food to my other sponsors in other programs. I don't have to call other Grey Sheeters when my food rolls down the airplane aisle and gets stood on by the stewardess and I don't know what to do. What am I going to do? I need one of you to tell me what to do. I think we need each other more than any other fellowship needs. The members need each other. So the census is all about connecting us one to the other. So I downloaded our data so far as of July 25th. We launched the census on April 6th, 2023, our 25th anniversary. We intend to run it for 4 months until August 6th. And so these are about 3.5 months worth of data. So I already told you all of this, so I jumped ahead a little bit. But so the services that we, I already mentioned that we're celebrating our 25 years. We're supporting those of us who are weighing and measuring, but also we are giving you information that tells people this solution works. So people want to know, they hear about Grey Sheet and then they say, but do people really do this? And how can I say, yes, there are X number of people around the world doing this if we don't have a count, if we don't have any idea? So that's one thing that carries the message, is to tell people, yes, there are other people doing this, and I can tell you how many. And then the other thing that really helps us carry the message is the power of our time abstinent. What fellowship has as much abstinent time as we do? But how much do we have? Unless we count, we don't know. So the census tells us how many years of abstinence we have. So then, since we're counting everybody, let's use that opportunity to get information for our committees that are trying to carry the message. So we ask people, how did you first find GreySheet? Because if my primary purpose is to carry this message to those who haven't yet found GreySheet, then it might help us to know how those of us who are here first found GreySheet. So that's one piece of information that's useful to those of us doing service. And we also included a question about what social media do you use? Because our Public Information Committee is anxious to reach the next compulsive eater using social media. Then I mentioned that we want to connect ourselves to each other, and we do that through the phone list, through our new Facebook group, and through our Service Matters newsletter. So the census gives you an opportunity to sign up for all of those things if you hadn't already. And then finally, we use the census to say to you, these are all the services World Services currently provides. Do you want to get involved in any of them? And we give people the chance to express an interest in all the different services like literature and public information. So what have we found so far? A high-level comparison with 2018. In 2018, 848 people participated in filling out a census form. Based on reliable information from the Connecticut, New York, and Israeli community, we think we undercounted by about 150. So we've been saying since 2018 that we have about 1,000 members. 848 counted themselves in. We pretty much knew that we missed about 150 people. In 2023, we have dropped by 25%. Only 618 people have filled out a census form. In 2018, we were in 22 countries. In 2023, we've increased that to 29 countries, primarily because of our Spanish-speaking members. We are now in about 11 Latin American countries, which we never had any GreySheeters in before. We've dropped in the number of US states, territories, and provinces, Canadian provinces that we're in. But here is a really interesting number. In 2018, we found out that the average amount of abstinence was 11 years for those who made it past the first year. So we excluded those in the first year and we averaged the remaining, and it was 11 years. That has increased in 2023 to 12 years. So the average amount of abstinence in GreySheet is 12 years. 66% of the people who've participated have over a year of abstinence. In 2018, we were doing our primary purpose. We were carrying the message because we had many newcomers, 185 people in their first year, 107 in their first 90 days. That has dropped in 2023, which is sad because our primary purpose is to carry the message to the next compulsive eater. So let's dig into some of this information. Do people trust the census? In 2018, you had the option to remain completely anonymous, and less than 1% of the respondents remained anonymous. In 2023, so far, only one person has not provided their name, and a few people didn't provide their phone number or their city. In 2023, many of you asked us to include questions like gender, age, ethnicity, and we weren't sure that our fellowship wanted to answer those questions. So we included the question, would you be willing to answer these kinds of questions in a future census? 83% said yes, they would. So we have, I would say, good trust in the fellowship, in the census process, in terms of the structure committee managing this, World Services taking care of this.
Grania, that's 10 minutes.
Thank you, Tara. In 2018, we offered people the opportunity to opt into the phone list, and 91% did. And in 2023, you can see the percentages who've opted into the phone list, service matters, area contacts, which is a great opportunity to do service by being listed by name, city, and email address on the website. So people can find out, they can email you if they're in your area, to join our Facebook group and to get involved in other world service. So the majority of people were willing to be connected and to get involved. How I first found GreySheet. This is fascinating to me. In 2018, 61% of us said we found GreySheet through another GreySheeter. I thought in 2023 that would drop and we would have some social media respondents, some website people, maybe some books, because we hear from people who found us on YouTube and who found us on Amazon. But actually the number who found us through another GreySheeter went up to 63%. And the same number of people seem to be finding us in other fellowships, including other food fellowships. All the other methods that you might think people would find us are negligible at this point. The amount of time abstinent. Along the first column, you see 1 to 90 days, 4 to 11 months, 1 to 4 years, and then all the number of years all the way up to 45 years at that time. So the number of people who had that amount of abstinence in 2018. I want you to look at 2023 and tell me what you see that is different. In 2023, I think many people with over 5 years of abstinence have not participated in the census because there's a giant drop from those under 5 years to those over 5 years. And I personally choose to believe they are still out there, still abstinent, but they haven't participated in the census yet. So I'm just going to overlay those numbers so you could see this drop here is completely different from 140 people to 58, and in the blue from 2018. So there wasn't such a dramatic drop. I hope that's clear what those numbers are saying. But this year we have one person who responded to the census who has over 45 years back. We have over 45 years of abstinence now. So we have our graph has actually expanded to include more abstinent time, which is wonderful. So this chart just shows the top 10 regions of GreySheeters. And I want to show you, you already know our numbers are down. So the numbers in red are where states and countries have lost GreySheet population. But I want you to notice Mexico went from 1 GreySheeter to 28. And Colombia is on the chart for the first time with 14 GreySheeters. So congratulations to the La Comunidad Hispana for carrying the message to the Spanish-speaking population. Most of our other states and countries, including Israel and Iceland, have dropped in their GreySheet population. Have they really dropped, or are those people just not responding to the census?
1 minute, Grania.
I knew you were going to say that, Tara. So I'm going to rush through and just say that we are majority in the United States. There are vast regions in the world which don't have a GreySheeter in them. If we each ask 5 people to participate in the census, we would have more information that will help us carry the message to all those people who haven't heard of GreySheet yet. Even in the United States, you could see there are many states without a single GreySheeter in them. Maybe they're out there. Can we get them connected? Can we get them involved? Can we carry the message to the rest of us who are out there and haven't heard of this program yet? So in this last week that the GreySheet census is up and running, What I'd like to challenge is,
That's
thank you,
time.
thank you, Tara. If I could get 20 volunteers who would each contact me and be willing to contact 20 people by phone who have not yet participated in the census and invite them to go to the website and consider participating in the census, maybe we can get all those people with over 5 years of abstinence who haven't yet participated to join us in this carrying the message. Thanks.
Wow. Grania, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you to the structure committee for all your work with the census. And thank you to those who have filled out the census. Wow. Okay. That was a really powerful presentation. Okay. So now for 20 minutes, Tara, it is, okay, we're doing the update on progress of our vision and 4 core functions. So when anyone, anywhere realizes they have a problem with food, they think of the GreySheet solution. That is our vision, and we accomplish that with the 4 core functions: the integrity of the GreySheet program, literature, public information, and website. And first, for 5 minutes to discuss the integrity of the GreySheet program is Grania.
Thank you, Stacy. This is going to take less than 5 minutes. The board has been really busy on administrative internal matters and hasn't had to do very much in the way of protecting our integrity. So what we have done since our last town hall in April is we are continuing to work on protecting our fellowship from legal liability with regards to personal safety issues by consulting with our attorney about what kind of a position is wisest for us and by extension, the intergroups to take with regards to personal safety issues. The other thing that we did in the last quarter was we provided training to the new intergroup service representatives. This is the first time we've ever done that before. It was open to anybody who was interested in becoming an ISR, and it was to ensure that the ISRs knew what their roles and responsibilities were. It was very well attended, and we hope to do that quarterly. We continue to get questions from groups and intergroups about, I don't know how to put this any other way, except people want us to tell other people what to do. And so they call me and they say, such and such a group, such and such an intergroup isn't doing X or isn't doing Y. Can't you fix it? And so we continue to remind people that groups and intergroups are autonomous, except in matters that affect GSA as a whole. Every group and every intergroup is free to run itself however it sees fit to best carry the message. We have worked in the last quarter to help the committees to write minutes for their monthly meetings and publish those minutes on the website so that you can see what your committees are doing on your behalf. And finally, because I have moved to Ireland, I can no longer take all the calls that come into GreySheet at our GreySheet phone number. So we are creating a new service position, which will be a World Service Specialist position, we hope, of the person who answers the phone and the emails that come in, which span such a wide variety of topics and questions and concerns. So it really requires somebody who is going to have connections to the entire fellowship to answer all the questions and refer people to the right source. So if you are interested in taking these questions, oh, I wanted to just let you know. So we get about anywhere from 15 to 25 emails a month, and we get from about 10 to 25 phone calls a month from members of the public, the media, other fellowships, and newcomers to our fellowship. So this is a new job for somebody who can accept these phone calls and respond to these emails. And that is it from me. Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you so much, Grania. And now, Tara, for 5 minutes, if you can time Susan, who's going to talk about literature.
Hi, everyone. I'm Susan. My abstinence date is February 11th, 2013, and I am chair of the Literature Committee. I have 5 minutes, and I have 5 areas of progress that our committee has been making in the last few months since April 30th. 3 of those areas are specifically with different pieces of literature, and then the other 2 I will get to in a few minutes. In terms of the literature, we have been making progress on the travel tips and dining brochure pamphlet, which will be an online downloadable pamphlet, was approved at the end of April by the Board of Trustees. So the text is done, and it has since then moved into the design phase. So coming soon. The subcommittee that has been working for the last few years on sharing the solution, which will be an ebook, that manuscript has been completed by the subcommittee, and it is in the very final editing phase, and will move to the Literature Committee as a whole in August. So that will be forthcoming for approval, the rounds of approval after the Literature Committee has approved it. The committee's booklet is moving along on the process of writing and editing. And so the manuscript is well underway for that particular e-booklet. And then the other 2 areas in which we have made progress, we have elected our very first specialist delegate approved by the Board of Trustees. And the first person, we are calling this person our managing editor, and Sarah S., who I believe is here. Sarah, if you want to raise your virtual hand, is our very first Literature Committee specialist delegate, better known as our managing editor. And last, we are actively recruiting for additional members for the Literature Committee. And back in June, I sent out an invitation to the 24 people who responded to the survey that they were interested in the Literature Committee, as well as 5 other people who had expressed an interest. And in June, we held an open house. Our entire meeting that month was an open house so that people could learn more about how we produce literature and decide whether they wish to join our committee. I sent out an open invitation to all of those people. We had 4 people who were able to attend that day. Note, it was Father's Day that Sunday. And so we have 1 person definitely interested in joining us at this point, and we're still hoping for more. So we may do a couple more mini open houses because we do have business to conduct, of course. So any questions, anything, I'm happy to take them if we still have a minute or so.
Okay, thank you so much, Susan. I really appreciate that. Okay, and then for 5 minutes, Tara, if you can time Liat to talk about public information. Is Liat here?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. All yours.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Grania. Thank you, Tara. Hi, everyone. Thank you all for being here. It's always really amazing to see how much we all think about GreySheet. It feels like we've had a very pick-oriented town hall, and that social media, a couple of social media notes. So let's talk about social media. Since our last check-in, we have formulated, received approval from, and published what is called an RFP, jargon. It's a request for proposal. A request for proposal is when you're looking for I'll just be specific, because we're looking for essentially an independent contractor, a consultant, to do some consulting for our social media strategy and execution. we as a public information committee, small but mighty. I don't know if I have to be anonymous, so I won't say, but amazing, amazing, incredible group of people who are probably all on this meeting, and you guys are amazing. You're about to hear the PSE&G man go by. Sorry about this. Anyhow, I'm going to share my screen because what we really, really need today is we need this to be spread. I think we all feel very good about the request for proposal that we have published, but it's not reaching as many people as we expected in a, I'll say like a virality kind of way. I think we need to be much more intentional. And we have made efforts to post it on LinkedIn, Facebook, their recruitment websites. But again, our response rate is lower than we would have hoped. And the replies that we're getting are asking for remuneration beyond what our budget permits. And so I'm going to share this. I'm going to caveat it by saying that we are open to GreySheeters taking on this role, of course. But also there could be a really incredible value to having a non-GreySheeter do this, to give us an outside perspective on our fellowship, to translate that to the newcomer. So I will now share my screen for that RFP. And then when I finish my presentation, I'm going to put the link in the chat. And if any of you know any social media professionals, please pass it on. It really could be game changing. I know that I don't know if it's a data issue or if it's true that our population has declined, but it breaks my heart. And I am very passionate about that's why I'm passionate about public information. But regardless, we want to carry this message to the still suffering newcomer. And now I am sharing my screen. Here we go. Okay. Can I just get a thumbs up that you guys can see that? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So, as you can see, it's gone through many rounds of edits, and we've done our best to make it feel as professional as possible, because this is obviously a professional role, compensated accordingly. As we've discussed in previous town halls and other forums where public information has presented on this, really our goal here is to share that optimistic, grateful, just, you know, the as it says in our big book, like we survived, the survivors of the ship on the Titanic, like we love it. I heard on a meeting yesterday, or in a face-to-face meeting, because I'm in New Jersey, I'm very lucky, an amazing fellow told a story that she became a GreySheeter because she heard two people in a meeting sitting side by side, and one said to the other one, "So how did it go with the blah?" Right? We have this unbelievable community and fellowship that is full of love and full of joy. And we just, I think we on the Public Information Committee are confident if we get the word out about GreySheet, we'll gain many enthusiastic new GreySheeters. So what is actually part of the art?
That's time.
Thank you. I will stop there. I'm going to put this link in the chat, and very grateful to you all again. Thanks.
Thank you so much for that presentation. And then for 5 minutes, Tara, if you can time Miguel to talk about website.
Stacy, I haven't seen Miguel here. Miguel?
Okay. Okay, all right. So now we're going to do presentations by intergroup. The first is for 5 minutes for PhoneBridge. Stephanie is the ISR and Kathy as the chair. So you guys can take it away for the PhoneBridge intergroup for 5 minutes.
Okay, Kathy, I'll go first if that's okay.
Sure.
Hello, everybody. This is my first time presenting, so bear with me. First and foremost, abstinent and grateful. My abstinent date is April 20th, 2020. And I'm going to share on a few topics: intergroup, phone bridge intergroup, which I love, the uniqueness about the phone bridge, challenges, seventh tradition contributions, and world service in our connection. So first and foremost, our intergroup. We used to meet quarterly and we made improvements. We now meet bi-monthly. GSRs, trustees, our secretary, and GSRs, and all are invited. And again, this is on the phone. All you need is the phone and the dial-in number and the PIN, of course, and you can attend the meeting. All are heard, but GSRs and trustees vote. Our intergroup, a lot is presented. I myself, as intergroup service rep, I announced some amendments to proposals from the communication committee and the structure committee last intergroup meeting, which was in July. And other issues and things were raised as well. That being said, our intergroup is awesome. This is the first time they had an ISR in a while, so bear with me. I'm being baptized by fire, but it's working and I love it. Kathleen was the previous ISR, and she hasn't been there in years since her term was up. But that's our intergroup, phone bridge intergroup. Moving on, I want to move on and share about what's so unique about the phone bridge. It's portable. All you need is a phone. We have marathons. We never close. We're open 24/7. We got 7 to 10 meetings a day. And marathons, let me tell you about marathons on holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, you name it. There's a meeting going on from 5:30 a.m. till 10, last meeting ending at 10. That being said, people put it together. All members are involved. We have moderators, dashboard to keep it nice and quiet. We have marathon liaisons. We have coordinators that get the speakers and leaders and so on and so forth, and it works. And one last thing I wanted to share on that, as far as what makes it so unique, we have all types of meetings. We have qualifications, 12-step, as Bill sees it, women's meetings, a whole slew. If you go on the website, you'll see them all listed from 12 midnight and some starting at 5:30 a.m. And portable, you can be on the beach, where I'm going after this. I'm going to take my lunch to the beach and listen in on the 2 a.m. meeting or whatever meeting. So it's portable and it's fun. I want to move on to challenges. Of course, we have, oh God, so many meetings, but the challenges are GSRs. Sometimes there are leaderless meetings where people volunteer and step up to lead it. But first and foremost, one of the challenges we have only a handful of GSRs, under 10, that are serving. And my goal as ISR is to work on it, spread the word and hope more people will step up to be that. Being in the communication committee, the chair and all that allowed me to do an article, which is going to be on Service Matters on GSRs, which I already submitted, and look out for Service Matters, our newsletter. And in September, we're going to do it's called Spotlight on the Phone Bridge. So it's going to be information gearing more people into the phone bridge and what we do. I only have 5 minutes, so I'm trying to cram in as much as I can right now. But moving on to, I did say I was going to share about that, but I want to share also about contributions and the World Service. We do a 7th tradition, and we're always working on the phone bridge. We just updated our format, which now all members, they can send in their check or PayPal contribution to GreySheetMeetings.org, and it's that simple. That being said, our intergroup also sends money to World Service. Moving on to World Service. Okay, I myself as a GSR, I served 2 years on World Service Conference, and I loved it. Working with GSRs now, getting them connected in committees. I just spoke to 2 not too long ago, and they're excited about it. So we have some new GSRs coming aboard. But that being said, what we do is we keep the primary purpose, and that's to carry the message to the compulsive reader who still suffers. And I am so grateful.
Stephanie, that's time.
Okay, I'm so grateful to be a member and representing the Phone Bridge. I love and read it. And with that, I'll pass.
Okay, thank you so much to the Phone Bridge. And now Peggy for 5 minutes to talk about, she is the ISR for Connecticut, to talk about the Connecticut intergroup.
Thanks, Stacy. Hello, my name is Peggy, compulsive eater and anorexic. Hello, thank you for the opportunity to speak about the Connecticut intergroup. Connecticut, with a population of 3 million people, is located in southern New England, made up of a mix of coastal cities, rural areas, and small towns. We number about 30 GreySheeters, which may change as a result of the census. The Connecticut intergroup is dedicated to carrying the message of hope from the enslavement of food addiction. The Connecticut intergroup is service-oriented, with members ready and waiting to assist with work that needs to be done. How can I help is a commonly asked question. We stay connected with one another within the community because we know that isolation can lead down a very dangerous path. Due to a recent rotation of service, our new BOT liaison is Maggie Ann from Oregon. Her monthly, concise, and comprehensive reports have added breadth and depth to our business meetings. She keeps us up to date on happenings within World Services. Through a wonderfully creative collage of ideas, our collaboration accomplishes together what we cannot do alone. Thank you for your attention. Now we have trusted speakers, trusted servants who will speak about what we do for the fellowship. Kate?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kate Ellen, grateful recovering compulsive eater. I'd like to just speak with you a bit about the Connecticut one-day retreat. I want to say that I arrived at the Saugatuck Church on Saturday, April 11, 2023, to attend the Connecticut one-day retreat hosted by the Connecticut Intergroup. The opening of the event started promptly at 10 a.m. in a large room downstairs. The opening meeting was to welcome everyone back after 3 long years without the event. The first breakout session I attended was inspiring about the joy of having acceptance and peace and serenity in recovery. Lunch followed afterwards, where I got to see old friends and met some new ones. After lunch, I attended a session including heart-wrenching honesty about fear and the difference in our lives without the food. I'm looking forward to the event next year, for which the same church has already been booked. Thank goodness for GSA. And now I'll turn it over to Jack.
Oh, thanks so much, Kate. Hi, everybody. My name is Jack. I'm a compulsive overeater. My absence date is February 1st, 2020. Thank you all for everybody who put this together. And I'd like to first talk about our 3-day retreat, the Connecticut 3-day retreat, which I'm on the committee, and the Westport meeting that meets on Saturday hosts that. This year we had 87 GreySheeters from all over the world. And the profits were forwarded to the CTIG, that's the Connecticut Intergroup, who donated to GSA's $1,193.57. That's just from a 3-day retreat. We're so grateful that we can do that. And I'd like to talk next about, I also got a sponsee at the Connecticut retreat, so that was wonderful. And I'd like to talk about the Westport meeting as well. We meet on Saturdays from 8:45 to 10 a.m. And we have, like yesterday, we had 11 people show. Last week, we had 40 people show. So it's in between 11, 20, 30, 40 people that show up every week. We've been doing this a little over 2 years now. We're a group that has meetings, and we pass the message on. Newcomers are coming, people that are coming back are getting it, and we're just also grateful to be part of this wonderful Westport community. I'll pass with that and pass it on to Peggy, our illustrious and great, incredible ISR.
Oh, thank you, Jack. I'm going to skip the next part and go on to the Linda. Welcome, Linda, our treasurer, because I think we're running out of time. Thanks, Linda, so much.
Hi, everybody. I'm Linda, and one of my proudest positions in the Connecticut Intergroup is being their treasurer. And as Peggy stated, we are a small but mighty group, and really, we just love helping World Service, because we know that is the one place that we can help a lot of compulsive overeaters with the work that they do. And I'd like to share the screen with you to show you. Here we go. That's the money that we've given. We've opened up, since we've opened up the Zoom meetings, we have given World Service $21,303.70. And we proudly send that check in every month. It just excites me to just keep giving them more money. And on the bottom, you can see that of all the retreats that we did, and that money is incorporated in that 21,000 that we've raised, close to $6,266. So it
Linda,
just,
I'm so sorry that it's time.
that's okay. It just excites me that we support World Services, because everything they do takes money. So thanks.
Wow, thank you so much
Thank you everyone for your attention.
Thank you to Peggy and to Kate and to Jack and to Linda. Thank you, Connecticut. Okay, and lastly, we have, not lastly at all, we have Jen from the Northeast Intergroup for 5 minutes.
Everybody, I do what you all do, gratefully so. I'm just going to share my screen because, like, you get the gist here. We did a quick PowerPoint. So this is us, Northeast Intergroup. And so I'm the secretary for Northeast Intergroup. So I'm going to tell you about ourselves. So we have 8 groups. We are covering 9 states, 3 cities. As of the earlier in July report, we had 50 census respondents. So we, as stealing the phrase that was just said, small but very small and mighty, I would say. So we represent upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Delaware, Rhode Island, Maine, Mass, Washington, D.C., 2 cities in Canada and Pennsylvania. So we're all over the New England area. So what do we want to do? So spread the message, obviously, first precept for sure, spreading the message to other compulsive eaters, kind of guide and support our existing groups and build new ones, provide a Zoom platform. So that's like one of our essential functions in our budget. Community building, just making connections, like Grania and so many others have been saying, is like opposite of addiction is connection. Let's get everybody together. And our central ministry, I don't know, is to just have fun. We want to have open communication between the intergroup and World Service, and provide representation for our members. And so we meet monthly. Everyone's invited. We have an event subcommittee that we do. So our meetings are 8 p.m. second Thursday of the month, if anyone's interested. So starting in October, our ISR chair will be Tara T. I am secretary and moderator, and I'm so excited to have Barbara join us as our board liaison. She is enthusiastic and just has really enlivened and that's not the right word, but brought energy to Northeast Intergroup, and it's been wonderful. So thank you for her service. A couple of positions that we do so across the intergroup, and I just wanted to explain, the more people get involved, service is slimming and lightens the load. So I definitely like to encourage that in our intergroup. And then the big reveal, because I think that's one of our main precepts, like I said, for Northeast Intergroup, is having fun. And one of the things that came up recently when we were brainstorming was an event. So put it on your calendar, November 4th. From 1 to 4 p.m. We're going to do 3 meetings in a row. You can come for all, come for parts on Zoom, about what, first holiday season. It's rough. It's hard to go to all these food holidays, see family, friends, and go through habits, but differently now with GreySheet, bringing GreySheet along to those events. Navigating family, there's always tension. How do you navigate that without eating? That's hard, but then also celebrating, family, hey, this is me now. And this is what you're going to see going forward, and building that as you go forward. And then finding joy, finding the best and the yummiest through the holiday seasons, and self-care and taking care of yourself, because as part of the holiday seasons, there's a lot of giving of others, but you got to take care of yourself as well and find the joy. So we also have this really cool thing. So anyone who comes, if you'd like to participate, there's going to be a giveaway for a Northeast Intergroup sponsored thing that you can put your name into the hat to get, and mailing to you will be free of charge. It's just going to be part of what our group's doing. So please put down November 4th on your calendar. And like I said, what do you expect from us? It's like, we want to do events. That's like really what we want to do, is make connections and have people get together. And thank you. So thanks for having us, and yeah, I'll stop sharing.
Thank you, Jen. That was awesome. Okay, and lastly, we have the La Comunidad Hispana intergroup for 5 minutes. And is it Maria or Maria?
Yes, Maria. Okay. Hello, guys. I'm going to use my voice today to speak for the Comunidad Hispana, and to feel no nervous and to feel welcome, I'm going to say my mantra. My name is Maria, and I'm a compulsive overeater. I'm abstinent today because, like you, I commit to my sponsor 3 meals a day, nothing between, no matter what. Pase lo que pase, abstinence is the most important thing on my life, no exception. And everyone's in the Comunidad Hispana, we say the same mantra every day. And that is the way we feel the connection, and we follow the principles for GSA and the whole world. I was thinking when I was listening to you, is even we are different intergroups, I can feel free to go to another intergroup, and I feel welcome, because everyone, we speak the same language, the heart language. But the Comunidad Hispana is not in a geographic point. We are in the language point. And like the census show in July 1st, we are 76 members, but I believe we are more, but 76 answer, and we are everywhere. And the countries we are is USA, Spain, Mexico, Costa Rica, Peru, Colombia, Uruguay, Dominican Republic, and Argentina. And I believe we are more, because even I have a sponsor from Israel in Spanish, but she didn't answer the census, but I believe we are more. I don't feel heartbroken. I know we're growing, and our purpose is the same purpose. Surprise, surprise. Is the five tradition to carry the message to the compulsive overeater who is still suffering. And in order to make this purpose, we connect every day with the higher power. We invite him to our intergroup meetings. We have intergroup meetings the first Saturday of every month, and we invite one of the chair members, and of course we have proposals, ideas, concerns, observations, suggestions. We discuss those, we vote, and by conscience, according to the guidance of a higher power, we take those decisions. Then he is the first one in our meetings. And then we also invite we connect with the world services. We are not working like a GSAs, but for our own. No, we are communicate and holding hands with the world service. And how we do that, how we participate. Then we are registered with them. All our meetings are on the website. We have 9 delegates for October. What else? We have workshops, retreats, and we offer those bilingual to all the world. We working for our interpretation channels, because we know we need you guys. We need everyone's, no matter what the language you talk. We want to learn from the ones who have more years, and we are humble to listen everyone. We really want to keep going and help the other ones who are still suffering. And we have one among the international speakers Zoom meetings. We have social media. We help in the 7th tradition with the world services. Another thing to keep this purpose, to bring the message, it's important to we as a members, we need these Zoom meetings to maintain our recovery. But at the same time, we have to maintain everything every day. I say my mantra every day. I make my phone calls every day, the 3 ones. And we, like a sponsor, I say the same to my sponsors. And my sponsor tell me the same. And guess what? I have a sponsor from New York, from another intergroup. And it's okay because we are a family. I can select any one of these Zoom meeting and I can make you my phone call. La comunidad hispana is not another people from another GSAs. No, we are GreySheeters everywhere. And by the way, we say GreySheeters in Spanish is GreySheeteros. And I love that word. I feel a member. I feel a happy members. And of course, I want another people to come and join us. And it's the same feeling of each one of the GreySheeteros here. And we have 2 meetings every day. We have Telegram groups. We have these chats working 24 hours, 7 days a day. We have 400.
Maria, that's time.
Oh, it's time. Then we have these study groups, living abstinence, showing pictures, and we are open for more. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. And thank you to all of the intergroup presenters. I appreciate it. Stephanie, Peggy, and Jen. And now to report on our 7th tradition donations. Is that you, Joey? Or Grania? Grania, go ahead. I'm sorry. And that's for 5 minutes, Tara.
Joey, do you have the donations report? If you don't, I have it here. You have it.
Yeah, should I share it and you could speak?
No, you speak.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, great.
Hey everyone, my name is Joey. I'm just trying to share the screen and I am a compulsive eater and I have the screen ready for this. So this is our last minutes report for the Treasury. We had a goal for 42,000 for 2023 and up to June, we had 19,000, and correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, 19,659. So we are below the, we're in the middle, almost past the middle. So we are a little bit okay, but I would say it's okay, but it's not okay. In a way, we have 19,659 out of the $39,318 that are projected to be part of the $42,000. And thank you, Connecticut. Connecticut has around so far 3,019. Linda, I still got the check today, so don't worry about that. We're gonna put it in the next part. For the EIG, the European Intergroup, we had 1,154. For the Icelandic, we had 160. And for the ISLIG, we have $2,000. For the LCHIG intergroup, we had 120. For the Northeast intergroup, we had 1,021. And for the New York Metro intergroup, we had 4,011. In the Phone Bridge intergroup, we had $1,000. The South State intergroup, we had 3,949. In the Western State intergroup, we had 538. And that's how far we had so far. We had 19,659. And that's my report for the Treasury this month. Unless, Brian, you would like to add some more?
Just to correct, Joey, you just misspoke there when you were looking at the Western States. The Western States has donated $3,200 so far, so it's an average of $538 a month so far.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's my report.
Thank you so much, Joey. Okay, so for 5 minutes, we're going to do some announcements, some World Services announcements. I will start with that. Oh, wait. Final proposal. Oh, wait. Is that Carla? Carla, is that you?
Yes, I believe it is.
Go ahead.
Sure. I'm Carla. I am the food addict, not the food addict, and the chair of the communication committee. And as part of that, we're responsible for the committees connecting meetings. That's where delegates, as many of you know, share their proposals that in hopes that they will become resolutions. And so Committees Connecting is on the second Sunday of the month and at noon Eastern time. And in August, Public Information Committee and the website will be giving their proposals, sharing their proposals with us. And we'll be finishing up in September with the Board of Trustees and the website. Did I just say the website? Sure. Let me get back to you on that. And then we have our traditions and concepts, which is an opportunity to learn about the traditions and concepts for delegates and others. And that will be August 27th. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Carla. And we have 2 minutes left. I apologize, I didn't give the time to Tara. So Tara, for 2 minutes left, we have for Mindy to go about the delegate training, and then Grania about the open service positions.
I think Grania already spoke about the delegate training. It's October 1st and 3rd, so I won't repeat it, but I could give a really brief report on registration. We have a total of 61 registered delegates, of which 40 are GSRs, 11 are trustees, 9 are ISRs, and 1 is a special delegate from all over. Thank you. Tomorrow's the deadline.
Thank you so much, Mindy. And I just cut her off by mistake. Tomorrow is the drop dead, which is the 31st of July. Drop dead to register for the World Service Conference meeting. Thank you. Grania?
Thank you, Stacy. Grania, compulsive eater. Thank you, everybody. It's so amazing to hear about all the different intergroups and how we support the groups in so many different ways. Thank you so much for that. And the committees. That was amazing to hear the updates. There is so much work to be done. There's work to be done because newcomers and members in their first 90 days and first year are asking for things that they would like, that they would need. And there's work to be done because you come to us with suggestions and say, why doesn't World Service do this? And why doesn't World Service do that? And they're all fabulous ideas, but we need more people to do the work. So we have a lot of open service positions based on your requests for services from World Services. So to start with, Linda mentioned, I think, or maybe she didn't, but she always does. So I will just mention, somebody mentioned, we need more board members. It was Barbara. Barbara is our liaison to the nominating committee. We need a secretary on the board, so we have a record of the work that we're doing, and we can report to you on a regular basis. We need an assistant secretary on the board, someone who can organize our records on our Google Drive. We need a trustee from Iceland. There is nobody from Iceland on the board. That we need a trustee on the board from Israel because our Israeli member, Ofer, will be rotating out after 2.5 terms. The man has done his time, and we need a new Israeli trustee. And we need a representative from the Southern Central Intergroup area. So if you have 5 years of abstinence, we need you on the board. Please get in touch with nominating@greysheet.org. Liat already spoke to you about our social media professional position. This is a paid position, not paid a lot, but paid nonetheless. So if you have social media experience, we want you to manage our social media campaign to reach the professionals, and you can email Liat at pic@greysheet.org. Carla's committee, the communication committee, does so much and has so many open service positions. We need someone to publish service matters every month. We need somebody to keep the subscriptions up to date on MailChimp so that people who want to get service matters actually will get it. We need somebody to coordinate the GSA phone list and keep it up to date. We need somebody to coordinate the area contacts list on the website. We just got like 500 new volunteers who want to have their name on the website as the representative for Dublin, the representative for Chicago, the representative for Los Angeles. We don't have anybody to put that information on the website. We need you to do that actual hard work. We always need volunteers for our startup sponsor team, which also reports to Carla's communication committee and is coordinated.
Tanya, that's fine.
Thank you, Tara. Last one, the startup sponsors, if you have a year of abstinence and you want to work with a newcomer, brand new to GreySheet for a few days and help them get started, that's the service for you. And I think I'm right in saying that Joyce and Jen, you've already found enough people for the financial review committee to review our finances? Yes, thank you. That's it then, but there's plenty to do. Get in touch, GreySheet@greysheet.org. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Grania. And then Tara, if you could just take us out at 9:30, or it's the bottom of the hour, with the serenity prayer. I'll just speak until then. So please, if you have any suggestions for special topics, so the special topic today was the census. For future special topics, please email us at chair@greysheet.org. Also, if you have any questions, suggestions, or feedback that you want to submit anonymously in advance of the next town hall, which will be January 28th at 11 a.m. Eastern time, you can email communication@greysheet.org. And you can get the notes from previous town halls and the Board of Trustees and World Services, any notes. I don't understand, it doesn't matter, it's okay. You could go to www.greysheet.org to get notes from previous town halls. And I want to thank Carla as our moderator and Tara as our timer and Joey as our note taker and the simultaneous interpretation technician, Yami, and Spanish interpreter, Olga, and Hebrew interpreter, Anna. It takes a village. Most importantly, to all of you for showing up and helping us stay abstinent a day at a time. And let's go on out with the serenity prayer. So please feel free to unmute. And don't forget, the census drop dead date is August 6th. Okay. God. Grant me the serenity.
Thank you for
all right.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your service. I appreciate it. Thank you for your service. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Gracias a todos.